Hey everybody, how's it going? Good evening. I got maybe 3 points that I want to that I want to put out tonight. And I know a lot of these things we say these things all the time. Coaches, when you're talking to the players talking to coaches or parents or whatever, we talk about a lot of these things every year, year in, year out, and some of it is still not adhered to. Well, I'm just going to say for the student athletes, do your best. I think that's the first thing we can say. Let's start off with something really positive. Do your best. That's just like saying, have a good day. Do the best you can do today. Be the best that you can be, right? Okay, so we start the day off, we're up here instead of being down here, right? So now let's get into where we are, because I'm already telling you to do your best, right? That's what I really want you to do, is to do your best. The interview phase with a coach. Playing your sport is pretty much the same as interviewing for the job. You're speaking to the coach with your actions on the floor, your actions while you're on the bench, whether you're engaged with the game, and when you get into the game, your coach calls your number. Are you running to the scores table to get in the game? Are you just lollygagging? Are you doing a Michael Jackson moonwalk over there, or are you sprinting over there to get into the game? Okay, that's a part of your interview process. Another part of that interview process is when you're actually talking to a coach. If you don't know anything about the school, if a coach just walks up to you, they're talking to you, or they just out the blue call you, talk to them with some sense. Talk to them, like you actually want the coach to recruit you. And if it's schools that you do know about and you know that they are recruiting you, or you've reached out to them, know something about the school. I told a kid tonight that I had a kid who loved the school. It had nothing to do with the major, had nothing to do with the dorms. It was basically they have good food on the campus. Hey, if as a coach, if I can use our 5-star dining facility to recruit a kid, guess what? I'm going to use my 5-star dining facility to recruit a kid. I mean, I got to show you the gym and stuff too, but yeah, we're going to take you over here and you're going to go eat, right? So it's just little small things like that the food that's served on a campus. I mean, think about it. You're going to be there for the next 4 years. You want to make sure they have good food, right? So all of that is part of the interview process. When the coach is talking to you, what they're seeing you do on the floor, how you're reacting to your coach, you're interviewing for a position at some school at some point in time. Your resume kind of goes along with the interview, but part of your resume is what you're doing in the game, your grades, and your extracurricular activities. I can't point out and impress upon you enough that extracurricular activities, they do mean something. I know, at certain levels, you don't have a lot of time to do everything because your job is pretty much the athletic portion, depending on the level that you go to. But extracurricular activities, are you doing things in the community? Are you working at soup kitchens? Are you, what did we used to do? Picking up trash, in the parks and stuff like that, side of the road. Are you volunteering to go read to elementary school kids or things like that? Whatever you can think of as an extracurricular activity that is legal, that you can do to help someone, it's a good thing. It's something you can add to your resume. It's something that when coaches, when you get that little box on the questionnaires where it asks you about extracurricular activities, you want to be able to have something, not I play basketball or my sport's 75% of whatever. You got to have something else. You got to have some sort of an additional outlet, something that is going to take you apart from everybody else. If you're in an honor society, you want to make sure that you mention that when you do your questionnaires. If you, like I say, if you volunteer somewhere, you want to make sure that you put that on the questionnaires. If you got any type of achievements or something that you were recognized for, you want to make sure that you put that out there for the coaches, because extracurricular activities do matter. It shows that the type of activities that you're doing shows what type of person you are, and that's something that helps you. It's a resume builder. Your game speaks for itself, of course. whether you're on a court, field. The grades, come on, we know that grades are pretty much the most important aspect of this. Without grades, you're not going anywhere. First question you get, how are the grades? Grades and attitude, for the most part. So those are not having them are resume killers. Bad grades, bad attitude, they're moving on to the next kid. And the third thing I have is major/location. Does the school have your major? And how far are you willing to go? 2, 3, 4 hours north, east, west, south. All of those things they come into play not only for your parents or guardians, brothers and sisters, or whoever, to come and watch you play, or for that matter, just to come visit you. It's important. You always hear location when people start businesses as to, is there foot traffic or whatever, so that they can get the maximum amount of, business. In this case, you want the maximum amount of, you either want your family member to visit, or you want to be, coming from New York and play all the way in California because you're trying to get away from somebody. So you want to make sure they have your major. You want to make sure that, the location. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go that far away? Do you want to be in a small town, a large town? You got to want to know, hey, Kim, you got to want to know what you want to do. For a lot of kids, it's the biggest decision that you can possibly make. So you want to make sure, okay, as I said, just to recap, the interview portion, your sport, of course, is part of your interview process. Talking to the coach. When the coach has asked you something, if it's a school that you have been looking at, please know something about the school. I don't care if it could be the most off-the-wall thing. You could be talking about the art the art on the wall. You could be talking about the food, but know something about the school. No one's asking you to give a 20-page essay or anything like that, but know something about the schools. Resume, as I said, how you play, your game is what makes it happen. Grades, extracurricular activities. If you're in an honor society or something, you have to pump that up. Don't act like, if you're smart, you're smart. It's as simple as that. We want smart student athletes. It's as simple as that. You got to be able to get the grades when you go there. We want to make sure and know that you're going to be eligible through the duration of the season. And major and location. Do they have it? How far are you willing to go? Are you willing to go to Oregon if you live in Florida? I mean, that's a pretty big hike, right? But just to show you the difference in how far it is away. So you got to think about all those things, and then you got to come to a decision, and then you come to signing day where you're going to sign on the dotted line for whatever period of time that you're hoping to be at those schools. And you got to make the best of it, because frankly, it's going to be the first choice that you get to make that doesn't involve your parents for the most part, because it's going to be you who are there.